Hello everyone, I'm Love here, back again with another Awaken Chaos Era video. So in today's video, I'll be creating a guide on the Runes of God, and currently our guild is located on the 9th floor. So these are the talents that we've already unlocked. So as you can see here, I'll be selecting these 4 talents, which are the Thunder Punishment, Bruszakk Spirit, Holy Hourglass, and then Vulcan's Fury for more damage. Alright, so in today's guide, right, I'll be showing you how to clear one of the Ancient Relics, which is pretty tough, which is the Lightwing Zachary, with the Life Desolation condition, which means that your heroes will not be able to heal through like revival sets. And this is my team. I'll be using Yolanda, Agustin, William, as well as Bruszakk. And the spells here I have here is the AoE Fence Down, Saring Bukatari, as well as the Shield of Mercy. So at the start of the battle, I have provided, I usually boost up my primary damage dealer here, which is Agustin, with Yolanda's bonus turn as well as additional attack. And before she uses her turn, I'll always apply the Sudden Purgatory first, so my heroes will deal as much damage as possible. So how this team works is basically my primary damage dealer, who's Agustin, will be able to clear all of these enemies. How does he do that? Is because he has a unique trait where he's able to splash like 50% of the damage dealt on the primary target. So as you notice there, when Agustin performed like 18,000 damage or so, then half of the damage is distributed equally to all of the 3 mobs in front, who is Marie as well as Vidar. So that's why you do not see I have another like AoE damage dealer here on this team. Alright, so let me quickly go through the roles and responsibility for each of these heroes, starting off with Agustin. Basically, he's my primary damage dealer. He deals massive amount of damage, especially against these light affinity heroes, because he deal extra 100% damage. And then we have Yolanda here. Basically, she's our support hero to provide the bonus turn, as well as an attack up, which is really important for Agustin to deal as much damage as possible. And also, she's able to cleanse away the taunt or provoke that's applied by Vidar with her basic ability. And apart from that, she's also capable of applying a massive AoE shield depending on how much health that the allies have lost. So the more health they lost, the more or the greater the shield it will be generated. And then we have William here. William is renowned for his trait where he can boost up the primary damage. You boost up 60% of the basic ability damage. So since Agustin is performing lots of attacks with his primary ability, the A1, then he'll be able to do 60% more damage there. And apart from that, right, William is also really good for his counter attack buff. Once you're able to fully book him with the mastery books, right, he'll be able to provide a 2-turn counter attack, which allows Agustin to do more damage whenever Lightwing Zachary targets him. But the downside is if you have a lot of attacks going on Lightwing Zachary, this will also help him reduce his skill cooldown for his ultimate ability really quickly. And the bad thing about Lightwing Zachary's ultimate is it ignores defense stats. So his ultimate will be able to one-shot Agustin here. So you need to have like the Shield of Mercy to protect him, as well as Yolanda's Guard buff that prevents Lightwing Zachary from performing the fatal hit. And then finally, our third support hero here is Bruszakk. Bruszakk plays an important role here to protect Lightwing Zachary. To protect Agustin from fatal hits from enemies on the opposing team. Whenever Agustin health drops below 50%, this is really important. Where there are some times when Agustin isn't able to heal through his ultimate ability whenever he's on cooldown, and Bruszakk will be able to protect him 100% of the damage will be mitigated to Bruszakk instead of Agustin there. And this team really works well for the Life Desolation instead of the 2 positive effect, because you want Yolanda's buff, attack up buff, as well as the counter attack buff to be put on top of Agustin here, so he can do as much damage as possible to clear all of these enemies quickly. And as you notice it from the video here, right, you'll notice I'll always open the info tab to check uh the status of Lightwing Zachary's ultimate ability here, to monitor and keep track how many hits I should do on Lightwing Zachary. Let's say assuming that assuming, as you can see here, right, I do not have the guard buff protection as well as shield of mercy. What I'll do here is I'll use Yolanda's shield to protect him, and also try not to do too many attacks on Lightwing Zachary. I'll do the attacks on the minions here. So I provide some time for the guard buff to appear back. And luckily you saw that, right? Agustin health is below 50%, and Lightwing Zachary tries to nuke my Agustin, but those damage is transferred to Bruszakk. Bruszakk has a special ability that can generate shield, and the shield mitigate the damage. So even though like Bruszakk, if you give Bruszakk here with a revival set, it will not work because this Life Desolation also prevents healing from revival set. Then you might be wondering why Agustin can heal himself although there's a Life Desolation condition in place. This does not it does not apply to lifesteal, only healing. So if your heroes have lifesteal, like if you have like Agustin lifesteal trait here, then it will work. Sometimes you will meet certain conditions where it prevents healing, then you can bring in like an elite hero like Marion that provides a lifesteal aura. That will also work. But for this case, right, I just need to bring Agustin here to perform the healing, and the rest can sustain themselves through Yolanda's shield here. So the target priority for the buff, right, from William is just to apply on Agustin, and this will provide a 2-turn counter attack as well as a defense up buff, and then Yolanda will be prioritizing on him for her bonus attack and as well as the bonus turn. Attack up and the bonus turn here. Alright, so now Lightwing Zachary's health is like almost like 20%, reaching close to 0% now. So we are already on round 11. So if your guild members able to get the third talent, which is the Holy Hourglass, this allows you to finish off this Lightwing Zachary Ancient Relic in one key. So it's best to accumulate sufficient talents in order to save your keys in the future battles. Usually on the higher floors, right, you'll take maybe like at first on the round 9, on the floor 9, right, you may take around about like 4 people to clear one Ancient Relic. But as your guild members gather more and more talents, right, it make it easier for you to finish off the Ancient Relic, as like the one that you're seeing right now. So we are now on round 13, and I think we'll be able to finish Lightwing Zachary comfortably here. So after this battle, right, I'll be showing you how I build each of these hero, so you can replicate this on your account. I'll go through the stats, the gears, as well as the masteries. And yeah. Alright, so we have already cleared Lightwing Zachary here. So let's check out the battle results. So the total damage dealt to this team is 7.9 million damage, and we have accumulated 1,610 points, as well as getting a legendary every set gear here. Alright, so this is the one key strategy using Agustin. Alright, so let me show you my team here. Alright, so this is the first hero on my team, who is Agustin. Here are his overall stats. He has around about 5,000 attack, 100% critical rate, 327% critical damage, and 78% focus to apply some debuff. And he's pretty slow at 129 speed. The reason why I gave him a low speed because I want to prioritize on the attack stats as well as the critical damage stats. And yeah, so let's go over the gears. So currently I'm gearing him in a Divine set as well as a Warrior set. Divine set allows him to have a 30% chance to launch a counter attack with their basic ability, and then Warrior set is to provide him with additional 15% attack. So the reason why I gear him in this Divine set is because, right, Lightwing Zachary can gain lots of bonus turn and we want to take this to our advantage. So the more attacks the Lightwing Zachary do, we want to launch a counter attack against him, as well as dealing more splash damage to the mobs there. In case if the mobs try to attack Agustin, right, this also will increase the chances of performing the counter attack through the divine set here. On top of the William's counter attack buff, as well as he also has a trait here. I think one of it is to counter attack with this character's ultimate upon taking non-critical damage, but this one only can occur one time. So we want to allow Agustin to perform multiple counter attacks so that he can deal as much damage as possible. Alright, so let me quickly go through the gear stats here so you can get an idea on how I select the gears. So this is my weapon with some critical damage, focus, attack, and critical rate. Then we have the helmet with some critical rate, focus, critical damage, and plus attack. Ideally, this one should be attack percentage. Then we have the armor, attack, precision, critical damage. Ideally, this one should be critical rate, so we can use a critical damage ring. And then we have attack boots with some critical damage, critical rate, focus, agility. And then we have a critical damage ring with some speed, critical rate, and attack. Ideally, this one should be like health percentage, so he has some health to tank the damage for the lower floors, in case if you do not have much good gears. And then finally, this is the attack necklace with some critical rate, agility, and speed. Ideally, this agility should be critical damage stats. And for his glyphs, he's all maxed out. Same goes with his abilities. So I do not have any copies on him. So if you got a copy for Agustin, right, you can do much more damage with this base attack 50%. And then also improving his speed, basic health, defense, and loyalist. The 5th ascension is not really important here. Ideally, you want to get to the 1st ascension for the additional attack. And if you want him to go before before Lightwing Zachary, then you might want to get the 2nd ascension. And you want to max out his damage output, you can go for the 6th ascension. But I've seen that some players, right, they will stop at the 2nd ascension or the 1st ascension and create another copy of Agustin to clear the to allow them to clear more of those Ancient Relic against the Lightwing Zachary. Alright, so for his mastery books, I've already fully booked him. I was pretty unlucky because most of my epic mastery books land in the physic here, so I had to max them out. So these are the masteries for Agustin. He has like critical damage. This one is really important to boost up his damage. Ideally, you just want to get this one instead of getting all of them. And since my god Agustin is pretty low speed, this speed to attack doesn't really help that much, but it's only like 129 attack stats. And this is a gear mastery effect that boosts up his weapon, head, chest, feet, neck, and hands, as well as his abilities. This one is really good because it boosts up the base critical rate so that you can prioritize on the critical damage ring. Alright, so that's all for Agustin. Let's move on to the next hero, who is Yolanda. Alright, so this is the second hero of my team, who is Yolanda. Here are her overall stats. She has around about 28,000 health, 2,300 defense, 174 speed, and 92.5% focus. The rest doesn't really matter unless you're using her for other particular areas in the game where you might want to improve her resistance stats here. So you just want her to go first so that you do not want like your second supporter hero like William to do attack on the Lightwing Zachary to proc his bonus attack. And yeah, since the enemies won't be attacking her that much, so the health doesn't really matter as long as you have provide her with sufficient focus stats to apply the AoE defense down, then it should be sufficient. And currently I'm gearing her in a revival set as well as guard set. For this guild versus environment, revival set doesn't really help here, especially for the Life Desolation condition for the Ancient Relic. But this one is like a good set for her for all game modes. And guard set is to basically protect her. This one is mainly used for like arena build. And let's quickly go through her gear stats here. So this is the weapon, health, focus, speed, defense. Ideally, this one should be defense percentage. And for the helmet, there's some health percentage, defense, and focus. Armor, we got focus, health. This agility should be resistance to improve his her resistance stats. This is a health boost with some defense, focus, critical rate. You can change this to a speed boost if you don't have the ascension to boost up her speed. Or if you want her to go first or faster, then you can replace this guard boot with a raider set. And then this is the health ring with some defense, focus, and defense percentage. Ideally, this one should be speed rather than flat set defense. And finally, for the necklace, we have a defense percent necklace with some speed, focus, and health. Ideally, the flat set health should be resistance stats. The glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. And I only got her to the 4th ascension using the, what's it called? The tokens that you can farm from the dungeon. And you can purchase multiple copies of her from the shop. And the best one is to get the 2nd ascension for Yolanda. It's really important to reduce her guard cooldown. So you'll only be a 2-turn cooldown to make it easier for you to time the attacks. And for her masteries, I did not invest any mastery books on her. But ideally, if you want, but it's not really a priority, you can get her speed, health, and defense if you're mainly using Yolanda for arena. Gears are also really good because this one boosts up her health and defense stats. Same goes with this one. This one, she has an aura, which increases the attack stats of the members by 3%. Fortification, it basically improves the allies' defense by 5%, which is quite good. Alright, so that's basically Yolanda. Let's move on to the 3rd hero in the team, who is Bruszakk. Alright, so this is my Bruszakk. Let's check out his overall stats here. So he has around about 27,000 health, 2,300 defense, and 98.5% focus, and 85.5% resistance. So basically I prioritize on the health, defense, focus, and resistance. Speed is not really needed because you want to build as much health and defense as possible to mitigate the damage from Agustin to himself whenever Lightwing Zachary performs his ultimate ability. And yeah, so he needs focus to apply the provoke. So let's say assuming the Lightwing Zachary ultimate ability is already ready, you might want to taunt him to prevent him from targeting Lightwing Agustin whenever he does not have the Shield of Mercy or the guard buff on him. Let's quickly go through the gears. So currently I'm gearing him in a Rebel set as well as a guard set. So Rebel set allows him to have a 20% chance to stun the enemy for 1 turn. Rebel set requires accuracy stats. So it's really important to build some accuracy stats on him. And this particular build that you're seeing here is pretty good for the Void Tower Heart, in case if you want to use him to protect your heroes there. And guard set is basically to prevent the initial nuke, so he can take in the damage. And let's quickly go through the gears, starting off with the weapon with some health, speed, and defense. This one is really good for a supporter debuffer hero like Bruszakk. Then we have the helmet with some focus, defense, health. Ideally, this one should be something that can boost up his survivability here. This one should be either resistance stats instead of flat stats attack. Then we have the armor with some health, focus, resistance, and agility. And this is a health boost with some focus and resistance and defense stats. Critical rate and critical damage doesn't really help him because he doesn't really do much damage. And then this is the health ring with some attack, focus, and precision. Ideally, this precision should be resistance stats. And then finally, we have a defense necklace with some health, speed, resistance, and attack percentage. For his glyphs, it's all maxed out. Same goes with the abilities. And I already fully ascend him because I got multiple copies of him during my time of playing this game. So the most important one is to get the 2nd ascension, so he can protect Agustin 2 times per round rather than 1 time. And I do not invest any mastery books on him because it's not necessary. He's pretty good by himself without any mastery books. Usually mastery books is always reserved for your damage dealers on your account. So let's quickly go through the physic mastery effect here. This one provides a 30% focus, which is really good for arena if you're using him as a go 2nd team. And this one also helps him to boost up his health and defense stats. And this one improves the weapon hit, chest, feet, neck, and hands. And then for his ability mastery effect, it's mainly used for the arena that allows him to deal around about 15 plus 25 is around about 40% chance to deal true damage based on his, I think it's attack stats or the health percentage. I'm not sure which one. And yeah, so that's basically for Bruszakk. And let's move on to the fourth and final hero on the team, who is William. Alright, so this is my William. And yeah, he has a cool and awesome animation here where he brings down his ninja man. Alright, so here are his overall stats. He has around about 19,000 health, 2,000 defense, 3,400 attack, 100% critical rate, 283% critical damage, 72.5% focus, and 173 speed. So basically this build is mainly used for my Ash Magistra team to speed farm the Helmut stages, especially for the Helmut stage 4 with Opal, Natalia, himself, as well as Shane. Let's quickly go through the gears. So currently I'm gearing him in an Average set as well as a Raider set. So this one I didn't change from my dungeon build. You just want to build him with damage so that he can deal some damage to the enemies. Let's quickly go through the gear stats here, starting off with the weapon. This one is critical rate, critical damage. Ideally, this one should be attack percentage. Then we have the helmet with some critical rate, attack, critical damage, and focus. Focus is really important for him to apply the defense down. And then this is the armor with some critical rate, critical damage, focus, and as well as agility. Agility is not useful for him, especially for PvE content. This one should be ideally attack percentage. And then we have the attack percentage boots, some critical rate, critical damage, and speed. And next we have a critical damage ring with some critical rate, attack percentage, plus its health and speed. Ideally, this one should be health percentage. And finally, we have an attack necklace with some speed, critical rate, critical damage, and health percentage. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out, and he's also fully ascended. It's really important to get him to the second ascension for William to boost up the combat prowess or the basic ability damage from 40 to 60%, I believe. Let's quickly check out the stats here. Yeah, 40 to 60%. So your primary damage dealer like Agustin can do more damage to the enemies. And for the masteries, I've invested some mastery books on him. Ideally, you want to max up the ability mastery effect. This one is the most important part. The rest doesn't really matter. For the physique, right, you can get the focus up in case if you have trouble applying the debuff, such as like the AoE defense down from his ultimate ability. This one will be good to boost up his stats for the attack boots as well as the critical damage ring. In case you want to do more damage to the fire imps around the Archmagistra boss. The reason why I booked this ability is because I want to get the Order Advanced ability level cap 1. So what does that do? This allows him to improve his chances from 80% to 100% chance. William is quite versatile in the PvE content, such as like the Wish of the Wind, Ash Magistra, and so forth. So having a 100% defense down, right, will make your run much more predictable, especially for speed farming the dungeons. And the better one would be the Order Hold position that allows him to apply additional 1 bonus stack of counterattack. So rather than 1 stack of counterattack, you apply 2 bonus stack of counterattack, allowing Agustin to do more damage to the enemies. These are not really important, but you need to unlock this one first before you can unlock the next unlock level for the special as well as the ultimate. Alright, so that's basically cover how I clear the Lightwing Zachary Ancient Relic, the Life Desolation, using those 4 heroes who are Yolanda, William, Bruszakk, as well as Agustin. If you have any questions regarding this team, you can post your comment in the video under the video, and I'll answer them as soon as possible. And yeah, if you found this video helpful, do give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, you can click on the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I upload a new video on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.